All right, another video for the highlight channel, I guess. So you guys wanted me to look at the March to April population increase in Korea. All right. Before we start the video, I just want to give you guys, I don't want to waste your time on the highlight channel, right? I'm just going to tell you the answer. The number one class that stands out right now, the most popular class in Korea right now, is going to be the giraffe. I mean, the magical giraffe. I mean, what's the class name? Sorceress. Yeah, Sorceress. Sorceress is number one. Sorceress is number one right now. Okay? Because her rework is so good. And if you guys are like, what rework? That means you don't hang out on Twitch, which is okay. You have a life. So you probably don't know about the rework, but she got reworked. Yeah. Her gauge and burst rotation is much better. She is... There's a saying right now in Korea called per soul. This you need to understand before we even start the video. That's pretty much like Korean meme of like what is the top tier right now. Top tier is breaker, blade, and soul and sork. My blade today died for 3 minutes in the end game content and still MVP'd. And dude, we are missing like 10% from Transcendence, which we're gonna do together. I think this Saturday. It's like her birthday. We're gonna jack her up, dude. She got the #1 bracelet in the world, dude. All right. Anyways. Okay, this is all TTS. Okay. So let's look at the data. Okay. So this one is above 1580. Number 1 through 10. Okay. So artist is number 1. She is finally number 1, guys. Now, don't click away. You'll be very surprised as to artist. When artists came out in Korea, there was an IIS storm, right? The villages were ransacked. There were no more tall people. It was like Smurf village, right? Remember that? There were all these IIS dancing, the videos on TikTok, right? The cuteness storm overtook Lost Ark, but we were like, there's no way they get to the end game, right? People were power passing her when she released in Korea, but will she end up in the end game? Look at that, 1580, number 1, overtook the Bard. 5 years, almost 6 years old class, Bard. And you can see that artist is increasing by 5,700 this month. Okay. Bard. I mean, she's not hip anymore. She's not Zoomer, man. She's kind of boomer. And then number 3 is Soul Eater, guys. 4,300 Soul Eaters hit 1580. There's 85,000 Soul Eaters. Breaker, number 4. Breaker at 5,600. It is kind of like waning down. It is waning down. And then Slayer at number 5. At 3,557. I want to make a separate video about Slayer, what they're complaining about, but she's still holding it tight. And then number 6 is Airmancer, and she's increased by 3,000. And then it's Paladin, 2,900, and then Gunslinger. As you can see, like there's a sudden drop. So if we go to the top 6, pretty much all new classics except Bard. All new classics except Bard, right? Or the recent classes. And then we have Gunslinger. Right? Gunslinger, 1,400. Something's going on here. But don't give up hope, Gunslingers. All right? Don't give up hope. And then Gunlancer, 1,600. And then there's Blade at 2,600. I wonder why. The late bloom meta chasers. These guys, they're like, oh, I heard Blade's OP. Remember right here? Breaker. Blade. And then Sork, right? So they're like, yeah, they're joining the party late. Okay, there's no change in terms of rank this month because in Korea, Super Mokoko ended. So a lot less players playing and creating new characters. All right, number 11 is Glavier. And then Sorceress, 1,600 Sorceress, right? War Dancer. Scrapper, Reaper still coming strong. Striker, you see that drastic drop with Striker right now? If you're wondering why, I don't want to make this too long. But as a matter of fact, the reason why Striker is like this is thanks to you guys in the West. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I actually thank you guys for all the guys who put the DPS meters, who combined the logs, charted it, multiple samples, and then even put disclaimer, this is not everything, you know, take it with a grain of salt. People didn't, in Korea, didn't take it with a grain of salt. So strikers are heavily complaining for a rework. I mean, that's good for striker mains, just hang in there. Destroyer, Arcana, Scouter, and then Summoner. Alright, and then we got 21 is Shadow Hunter. And then we have Sharpshooter. And then we have another drastic drop. Is Deadeye. Artillerist. What's the last one, chat? Who's fighting for last? Who's fighting for last? But don't give up, guys. Don't click off the video. Because it will switch. I guarantee you. Something's going to switch. Who's fighting for last? Summoner. We already did Summoner. Zerker is last. And then Soulfist. Soulfist is technically in population the last, but in growth is Berserker by 2. Right? So they're tied for last place. Now, that doesn't mean anything. Check this out. Check this out. In the end game is a little different. Now this is talking about like how many, like the growth spurt, right? Like look at this. So last month 8,000, this month 5,000 artists. Why less creation? Why less entering 1580? Because, like I said, Super Mokoko ended. There's not really a reason to make characters. There's not really a reason to play Lost Ark Korea right now for endgame players because the director said, go take a break. No new raids till summer. It's that time of the year in Korea. It's like a cool season, right? Off season. So we have artists, and then we have breaker. Okay. So this list is about like how much, like, okay, this is, okay, how do I describe this? So, okay, let's just do it one by one. Last month, 8,000 artists were born. This month, 5,700. So you subtract that, you have a negative 2,300 growth, right? However, there is all negative here, negative. So more breakers were born last month. This month, not as many breakers, right? Obviously, because what did I say? Super Mokoko ended. However, there is one class that has a plus. Guess what it is, chat? Guess what it is? I already told you who's gonna be. I already told you. Give you a spoiler alert. So let's look at what class is increasing. Okay. Minus. However, only one class is growing. More than last month. More than last month because some class went to the moon with the recent Korean balance patch. That is the Sorceress. So Sorceress is actually going up. And look at that. Moved up 5 places. Last month, she was 16th. This month, she's 11th in growth. As you can see, he's also talking about Sorg. All right. And then this is all classes. What is the most, the biggest growing class right now in Lost Ark Korea? Obviously, martial artists. Martial artists, there are what, 6 classes, right? And then Hunter, there are 4. Hunter is last. Smoach Hunter, bro. Anyways, next is Warrior. Warrior, I think there are 5. Warrior is number 2. And then the giraffes, I mean the mages. And then we have, as you can see though, the mages are not growing that much, right? The mages are not growing that much because they're giraffes. Yeah, this is a popular meme in Korea. So as you can see, the fastest growing class is the one with the breaker, which is martial artists. But martial artists are doing pretty well as a whole. And then we got warriors, right? Gunlancer, come on now. Paladin, of course, right? And what is it? Slayer, right? Carrying the weight. And then we have assassins. Assassin is the meta right now, so keeping up. Assassins, even though 4 classes, doing pretty good. Doing pretty good, right? And then we have specialists. 2 IAS, keeping it down hard, dude. So this pretty much proves to me cuteness sells, at least in Korea. And then hunters. Can we get rip in chat for hunters, guys? Yeah. Maybe the next gender unlock will be a hunter. I don't know. What the? Anyways, I don't know what's going on. And then as you can see, in the 1580 plus, there's more supporters than damage dealers, right? That's why the support. That's why there's more gatekeeping against dealers, damage dealers. We made a video about this, right? Supporters want to go with the cream of the crop. They don't want like they want the one with the most sperm counts, the highest eye level. They're not gonna join on eye level 5 gem parties like a con normal with no cards roster 4, right? They want to join the most juiciest groups because they got the good pick. Look at the distribution of support to DPS ratio, 21 to 78. The support did increase by 0.09 this month. And let's go to the end game. Now I like that he put the end game at 1640, which is the end game right now for Behemoth. So at the end game, as you can see, the director was correct, saying that more people hone to do Behemoth, and the proof is in the pudding, especially the supporter, right? The supporters are like, they know that if they're on eye level, they'll get in, right? The support no. So the artist right here, number 4 artist, can you believe that? Artist is number 4 most popular class at 1640 plus. She went up 5 places. She went from number 9 last month to number 4. Why? They're like, oh, Behemoth coming out, 1640 by the way. They're like, oh, okay, home, home. And they just got to get minimum eye level to get invited, right? So look at that. So they were incentivized to hone, and they were able to enjoy the latest content. Holy. And then bar number 1, Gunslinger number 2. So let's look at how many Gunslingers increased. 1,200. Smooge. Number 3, Gunlancer number 3 moved up 2 spots, right? Because people always think when a new raid comes out, support gets in. So Gunlancers are like, yeah, I'm gonna get in anyways, right? Now with hindsight, maybe not, but like, you don't need Gunlancers in hindsight, right? It's not a stagger heavy raid or anything like that. So anyways, they honed up. So number 3 now. Blade is number 5, went down 1 spot, right? It went down 1 spot. I can't believe Blade is number 5 though. Blade is number 5. Damn, there's a lot of meta chasers, right? So last month there were 2,590 6040 blades. This month 4,000 blades, right? So there's 4,000 gunslingers, 4,000 gunlancers, 4,000 artists, and 4,000 blades, increasing by 1,400 a month. I mean this month. Holy. And then Glavier fell 3 slots, chat. Glavier fell 3 slots. Understandable, right? When I talk to my Glavier friend, he hates his main. And then there's Sork. Sork also went down because Artist shot up. Yeah. And then there's Wardancer. Wardancer also went down because Artist shot up. And then Scrapper went down because Artist shot up. And then we have Reaper. Reaper top 10? What the? And then let's go to next. 6040 plus, once again, Paladin increasing. As you can see, Palis went up 9 slots, right? This exactly proves what the director was saying. He wasn't capping. He wasn't capping, guys.
Stop the cap.
He said that supporters honed to enjoy Behemoth, and they did. They knew they were going to get in on eye level. That's the support advantage, guys, right? Same thing happening right now in NA, EU for Thamine. Look at that. Went up from number 20 to 11th in a span of 1 month. So Arcana went down 1 because of Pala. And then we have Airmancer. We have Striker. So Striker is going down 2 slots because of Airmancer. We have Summoner. We have Slayer. Wow, Slayer is 16 overall. Rip. And then we have Destroyer, Berserker, and then what is that? Machinist, Soulfist. Soulfist and Berserker, right? See, they're not last place in the end game. In the 1580 plus, they're last place, but not at the end game. There's a lot of still like rich Berserkers who did not main swap. All right. Now, who is the last place? I mean, it's kind of obvious, but let's go. 21, Artillerist. Next, number 22, Soul Eater. Now, why is Soul Eater 22? Because, once again, it's very expensive to get a new class to the end game. You need a lot of time, right? So Soul Eater still went up 2 slots, and she's still rapidly multiplying, 741. And then we have Sharpshooter at 435, and then we have Deadeye at last place in terms of growth, right? They're not having sex over there. I mean, they're not honing over there. And then 25 is Shadowhunter. And then last place is obviously the new class, Breaker. So Breaker, last month, there were 263 1640 breakers. And if you're thinking, wow, that's low, that's crazy high. 263 whales decided to hone their breaker. And then this month, 557 more breakers decided to click hone to get to 1640 to do a behemoth, which is a raid that is very good for breakers, right? So we'll see how many more breakers enter 1640 plus next month. So if we look at the growth, right? The amount of characters hitting 1640. Bard, not as many this month. Minus 136 compared to last month. Artist, positive. Paladin, positive. And then I don't think anything else is positive. I don't think anything else is positive. Yeah. Breaker's positive, obviously. And that's about it. Yeah. So the director wasn't capping. And then if we look at the races, 1640 plus, the giraffes are number 1 because of Bard. And then next we have the fighters, including the male fighters. And then we have warriors, right? A lot of, like, you gotta understand, like, a lot of people used to main warrior. They're not gonna just suddenly drop it. Like, they're too invested, bro. Right? It's too hard to swap mains. And then we have hunter, level 4, and then we have assassins. And then we have specialists. It looks healthy, pretty much. Yeah, it looks about right. And then, this is crazy, right? But expected. Look at that. So Porter increased, guys. So last month, guys, 60-40 plus. Look at the support, the DPS ratio. Support to DPS ratio is 17 to 82 last month. This month, it grew by 5%. Grew by 5%. 22 to 22 ratio. Because like I said, like the supports, they're like, oh, if we hone a little bit, we do behemoth. Yeah. So basically, some of the DPS are getting gate kept, obviously, right? Some of them just can't get in because the ratio of this game is, 4 to 1. Is that right? Yeah. So some DPS have to sit out. I don't want to say who those classes are, but I'm seeing a continuous pattern with those. But yeah, anyways, that's about it, dude. Nothing to really say, honestly. Sorks are doing well, man. Sorks are doing well. Breakers are growing. Soul Eaters are growing. There's no real outliers. Meta Chasers are still making Blade, Breaker. People that want to enjoy the raids are making support. That's a TLDR, I guess.